So that McDonald's video I stitched got quite a bit of attention. Yeah, I was not expecting as much response as I got. Before we review some of the comments that I got on that video, I want to say that if you have not had a problem within the workforce and everything's been just peachy for you and you've never had any issues, congratulations. Unfortunately, a lot of people have. And just because you're not seeing those issues doesn't mean they're not happening. And I'm seeing that a lot with people. Like, well, it didn't happen to me, so it must not be happening. People must be lying. That's not the case. All right, so let's get on to the comments. So a few of you were quick to dismiss this as like a fast food kind of service industry only issue. And just keep in mind that this can happen in other areas. It's not just isolated here. This could catch on to other places. A few of you mentioned that this was essentially a slam dunk into getting employment. Well, there are a couple issues with that. First, if they list you as being terminated for failing to follow company policy, that could count as insubordination or misconduct. And some states, I looked up Texas just as an example, you are ineligible for unemployment if you have misconduct or something like that on there. So that's going to disqualify you from that. And that could be a huge issue. Second, they may choose to appeal your application for benefits. And while that may not seem bad because you're like, well, I'll get benefits anyway, if they appeal it and it takes additional weeks for you to get those benefits, you may need that money in between. People may need that. Another thing people are forgetting is some people rely on these jobs. Maybe you've served time in jail. Maybe you've had issues with addiction and it pulled you out of the workforce and you were unable to function as a human being. This is a job that, as lowly as it may be for some people, will get you back on your feet. So if you end up having a problem where they prevent you from leaving, that it causes issues when you're trying to get back into the workforce, this may be a huge point that stifles you, that is going to damage you trying to get into an actual career again. Understand, if a company is doing something like this, they know what they're doing and they know how it's going to affect people. I'd be willing to bet that this is going to be one of those things that adversely impacts minorities more than it does, say, non-minority groups. It's going to have a huge impact on them trying to move about in the world, even with them already having problems doing so. So that's my take on it.